manifest at once.
I have a good question or topic that I want to hit on, if that's okay. So something that I thought was really interesting, this is kind of ties into the first and the second ending part of it, is Sita's role in the novel as a whole, but focused on this end, because she did something that almost all aspects of what she did confused me a little bit, and so that's kind of like part one. I want to discuss that, and then two, I want to discuss how the implications of this affect how women are viewed in like a Hinduism like religion or culture, because like Christianity and Judaism, like Eve, like from the Adam and Eve story came like stereotypes about women, and I'm curious about, because what Sita did, it wasn't like, it was in the way I interpret it is that she was strong and she stuck up to the man, and I don't know if that's what the book is trying to tell us, but I want to dive into that.
Does anyone have, like, I mean, kind of narrowing it down a little bit, does anyone think, what do we think about Sita's response in the first ending, like towards the first ending and the second ending, right? So this is when she proves herself by walking into the fire versus when she proves herself by being swallowed up by the earth, right? What do you guys think of those two representations of Sita? Because, right, we're looking at this through those two authors were different. So do you guys think they're related and they show the same qualities, or they're completely different renditions?
Can I just interject and make sure, is everybody tracking, and did everybody follow that in the traditional ending, just as Zach said, Sita steps into the fire and is untouched, and in so doing, what's the implication of that? Why did she step into the fire? And the fact that she was untouched by the flames, unburned, and came back out, like, what did that do, very quickly?
Can I answer?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah. I think the exact quote was something along that she's never given offense to her husband.
Which means what?
Say again?
Which specifically means what in this context?
Which means that, like, she wasn't doing things to like have a negative impact on her husband, right? Because like
does it mean like she's loyal?
And what does loyalty mean in this context?
Chase. That's like with her chastity, chaste.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, this is about sex, right? So she was faithful, right? So she didn't have sex with Ravana, right? And she proved her purity by stepping into the fire and was completely untouched. That's the first ending. The second ending, that test happens. She proves herself, all the stuff. They go back to the kingdom, right? I'm not going to talk about that, right? And eventually she's asked to prove herself again, right? And this time, instead of saying, like stepping into the fire and being untouched by the flames, as Zach accurately described, she says, all right, this time, if I've been pure, if I've been faithful, if I've been a good, if I followed my dharma, I've been a good wife, right? In terms of what that means in the context, then let the earth swallow me whole. And the earth swallows her whole. Okay. So just tracking, make sure everybody followed that was the plot, right? That's a really important point. Zach, could you restate your question? It's a really good one.
So between those two different times when she proves herself, and because we're looking at a separate author writing the second ending, thousands of years later, do you guys see Sita as two different people? What different qualities or similar qualities does she show?
And
I
just want to make sure we also include Charlie's question, which prompted all this, which was, what are the implications for women? How does this play out in Hindu culture? And do we understand that Sita essentially stood up for herself in both cases and proved to be righteous, more so than Rama in both endings?
For me, it's interesting, like, we're asking the question of, like, her proving herself at the end, but, like, personally, I think she proved herself the first time, like, Rama got exiled for 14 years, and she decided all of a sudden that she was going to stick by him anyways. So, I mean, us asking the question of, like, did she prove herself to be a good wife at the end. I feel like she stuck by his side when everyone else around him was either not there or left or was too selfish to see that what was happening was to fulfill their own dharma. So I feel like she's kind of proved herself the entire time. And at the end, like the first ending, for me it was more her, I don't know, her like sacrificing herself for Rama yet again. And then the second one, it was more of, I don't know, she like claimed more power, I guess. And for me that was like important because she had been kind of following him the entire time.
All right, and trying to extend that back to what Charlie said, which is a good question, is what impact, what implications does that have on modern day, current day women in Hinduism culture?
Well, in the first ending, when Rama was like basically said that she was useless and that he fought the war for himself and not for her at all, I was like actually really shocked. Well, first of all, because like that just didn't really sound like Rama at all, but then also like it was just mind-blowing that he would treat Sita like that. And so I just think that I don't know if that really shows a lot about how they treat women in Hinduism, because then after that, like they got together and stuff. But like I definitely think that shows a lot. And then also, like when Sita was pregnant and stuff, and they like implied that she wasn't loyal. Like I don't know. I feel like a lot of things could have happened when she was in captivity that like were out of her control. Like it couldn't have been her fault in every situation. So.
Hi, Maddie. Welcome. Sorry for the delay. So the question at hand in our Harkness discussion is examining the role of Sita in the first and second endings, and the dynamic that creates, like kind of the implications for gender in Hinduism. And so Mia says that Sita has continuously proved herself throughout, from her choice to be exiled with Rama in the beginning all the way to the second ending, where she seemingly asserts kind of more righteousness and more power than Rama. And then Emily was just saying that she's like, it's mind-blowing how poorly and like rudely Rama treats Sita at the end. And that's kind of a shocking dynamic, given that she is, again, the righteous one who reminds everyone. Emily didn't say these are my words, but summarizing what Emily said, like she's the one who's been the example or the exemplar of Dharma throughout. So that's where we are. Welcome to the conversation.
Trying to extend Emily's point, do you guys